New polls out. Well, I told you earlier in the week that by the end of the week, Trump would be leading in Ohio and Florida. And now, when I did my prediction of how the election was going to go, I had Trump winning Ohio and Florida. I told you at the time that Hillary Clinton was leading in both of those states. Now, that was the beginning of the week. The end of the week is only a couple of days later. It's not like, boom, all of a sudden she's going to be losing in Ohio and Florida, right? I mean, that was too outrageous a prediction. So let's go to the polls and find out what happened. Polls from both Bloomberg Politics and CNN in Ohio give Trump a 5-point lead over Hillary Clinton. Not just the lead, a 5-point lead. Okay. A second CNN poll in Florida this time finds Trump up by 3 points, 47 to 44, with Johnson taking 6% and Stein 1%. So here we are, just a couple of days later, and Trump leads in Florida and Ohio. Okay, now let's go to a third swing state he needs to win, and I also have him winning. And again, she was leading in this state just a couple of days ago. A new Monmouth University poll out on Wednesday showed Trump leading by 2 points among likely voters in Nevada. Bad news. So polls were already trending in the wrong direction. Hillary Clinton had a disastrous weekend. Now that everybody saw. It's not like I was the genius who figured out she had a really bad weekend. But yet, and the reason I do this is because the rest of the media is still in denial. The rest of the establishment, the elites, the pundits, all of them in denial. They think Hillary Clinton's going to win, that is it's taken as a given. If you made them bet on it, they would all bet landslide still today. She's losing Ohio and Florida, and by a lot. Look, you might say 3 to 5 points is not a lot. But like when Hillary Clinton was up by 2 points and 1 point in Ohio and Florida, all the papers were talking about like, oh, so it's over. See, we told you, Hillary Clinton, of course, is going to win those states. So a 2-point lead is gigantic for Hillary Clinton, but a 5-point lead is small for Donald Trump. You're in denial. You're in denial. He's leading in those states. It's real. Okay. Why? Independent voters tipped to Trump 45 to 40%. If only the Democrats had a candidate earlier that did really, really well with independent voters instead of really terribly with independent voters. But when we tried to warn them, oh, no. The establishment knows everything. We know Hillary Clinton's going to win easy. She's the better candidate, even though all the polling showed the opposite. Gee, I wonder who was right. Okay, now another problem that Hillary Clinton has and why she's slipping even further. Clinton is ahead of Trump among voters under 30, but she's not getting the level of support Barack Obama received in 2012. 48% of young voters are currently backing her, while Obama won 60% of the young vote in 2012. Only 20.9% of voters are supporting Trump, young voters, but 21% say they'll vote for someone else or won't vote. Won't vote. I wonder if there was another Democratic candidate who did really well with young voters and could have picked up all those votes and actually beaten Trump fairly easily. But look, this is not about sour grapes. Okay, what's done is done. I'm asking you guys, and I'm not just the audience, but the rest of the people in the media, open your eyes a little bit, because if you open your eyes, what you see is Donald Trump leading. So see no evil, hear no evil, speak no evil. It doesn't help the situation. And it's not just the pundits that I'm talking to. It's not just the Democratic Party establishment, but you guys in the audience too. Oh, no, it's a big deal, man. Hillary Clinton sucks. And what difference does it make who I vote for? I agree with you that Hillary Clinton sucks. I just said that, right? That doesn't mean that Donald Trump doesn't suck harder and that your vote is irrelevant because, what difference? Well, okay, we're going to get Donald Trump as president and then we'll see what kind of a difference it makes. He's leading in Ohio and Florida. It's real. Now, let me give you some semblance, but it's almost every article, but I'll give you one from the Huffington Post that goes to show you the attitude of the rest of the media. Like, no, it's not really real. Come on. None of my friends are voting for Donald Trump. He can't possibly win. So this is written by Ariel Edwards-Livy. She writes, it's rarely a good idea to look at any surveys in the absence of context. Even good pollsters can differ substantially, and it's often difficult to predict whose picture of the electorate will be more on the mark. Both CNN's and Bloomberg's polls in Ohio, for instance, show an electorate that's notably more Republican than that of some other recent surveys. Here we are again. Anytime Donald Trump takes the lead, no, you can't rely on the polls. How many times have I shown you this? Go back and look. Half a dozen times. Whenever he takes the lead, every person in the media is like, no, but the polls. You can't trust the polls. Every time she takes the lead, the commanding lead. They're still writing about it like Trump has put a dent in Hillary Clinton's lead. Yes, she leads in the national polling. She used to lead on average by about 10 points. Now that was a real lead. Now it's down to 5, in some polls 4. Okay, that's still a lead. That's still very real. But it is withering, so that part is accurate. But remember, we don't vote nationally. It's an electoral college. So if you're losing Florida and Ohio, are you really leading? Now, according to my calculations, since I believe she's going to win Pennsylvania, Colorado, and Virginia, she would still eke out a victory. But that is no sure thing. Okay, so let me give you more from Huffington Post. But the results offer increasing evidence that polling has tightened since the days of Clinton's more commanding leads over the summer. Not really a lead if you're losing the Electoral College. Okay, let's keep going. Another question is to what extent the swings represent genuine shifts in public opinion. One theory, called a differential non-response, argues that shifts in public polling are overstated and often reflect a change not in what voters think, but in how likely they are to answer a survey at that particular moment. Gobbledygook, blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. In other words, whenever a poll comes out, or a whole number of polls comes out showing Trump's in the lead, I'm not going to see it, I'm not going to hear it, I'm not going to speak of it. No, Trump can't win. Trump can't win, so these polls must be lying. They're not lying, and he's in very good shape right now, and Hillary Clinton is not. But yet, the hubris of the Clinton machine will not change. Be human for a change. Try something different. But no, they won't. Oh, well, just smile and tell everybody pretty little stories. Hey, by the way, Hillary Clinton, remind me what you're running for. I'll give you time. I'm with her is not a thing. That's not a thing that you run for. Like, for example, you know why Bernie Sanders was running. I wanted him to care more about campaign finance, and he did, and he really realized the importance of that, and he fought for it, et cetera. But really what drives him is income inequality. And you know it, and he's been fighting for it for 40 years. You know why Bernie was running, okay? Trump's a madman. He's running for his ego. I got it, right? You don't need to convince me of Trump. Hillary Clinton, what are you running for? I'll give you more time. Hillary Clinton supporters, I know you're with her, and we're stronger together, whatever that means. But what are we running for? Why does Hillary Clinton want to lead? If I was going to run for president, which would be hilarious, I know, but I'm driven to get money out of politics, because if we don't get money out of politics, we can't get our democracy back. I care about that. What does Hillary Clinton care about? I don't know. Do you know? Does she know? Has she communicated that to the American people? One last time. You're losing. You're not winning. There's less than 2 months before the election. Clinton campaign, snap out of it. You think that you are inevitable? I think you might misunderstand that word. You think you can't lose? Go back to 2008 and see how you got your ass handed to you. Wakey. You're losing to, and by the way, you're not just losing to a Republican, you're losing to a monstrous Republican. A guy that anybody off the street can beat, but you're losing to him. Jesus Christ, man. Tell the American people why you want to be president, how you're going to help them. How are you going to help them? How are you going to fix the country? More of the same is the worst platform I have ever seen. We told you that the American people hate the establishment. What did you do? You picked the most establishment candidate there was, and now her strategy is, I'm just going to let Trump do his thing. I'm just sit here and tell you, you should be with me. I don't know why. I don't know where I'm driving, but you should be with me. So establishment rocks. The worst campaign idea I've ever seen. Good luck with that. Way to screw over the entire country. Together we can change the media, make it more representative of you and not the powerful. Come join us, make a difference. tytnetwork.com/join.